Right, welcome everybody here to day 7 of our program. Just prior warning, everything for this is going to be shot handheld, selfie style, so excuse me in advance for the lack of stability. I'll try my best to keep it nice and stable for you like this. Okay, so today what we're going to be talking about is something that I believe is really important for your training and generally just keeping you on track, and that is training in a community. So many people don't. Now, why is that? Why is that most people don't train in groups? Why is it that people go and train in gyms and try to make it on their own, training in gyms, training in a home environment? Why do people choose to do that? So let's have a look back at the history of fitness. So the history of fitness goes back a long way, but when you think about the history of physical activity, it comes from, the Olympics. Before that, the history of physical activity was purely requirement to live, functional living. Okay, they talk about functional fitness now. Functional fitness 300, 400 years ago was working, land, tilling land, going and actually doing physical labor to make stuff. Then we had this evolution in society where it's okay, we've got the industrial age, and it was the start of sport, competitive sport, the Olympics. And sport really goes in two different pathways, right? We've got team sport, where people are involved in a team in a community, like soccer, rugby, American football, all of that stuff. And then you've got your individual sports that started with the Olympics, tennis, golf, etc., etc. So understand that there's two different pathways with sport and there's two different pathways with fitness. Let's take it back to the history of fitness. Now, one of the biggest, they were almost at the same time. Two big fitness phenomenons came through in the 60s and 70s, which were running, recreational running, which came through from Arthur Lydiard as well as Nike in the 60s, 70s. And then it was the phenomenon of bodybuilding and weightlifting, which came from Arnold Schwarzenegger, pumping iron, that generation, Joe Welder, excuse my French, and that whole generation. Now, obviously, both of those sports are heavily focused towards individuals, and they became the standard for what exercise is. Running and bodybuilding, going into the going in doing split weights programs. Then on the other side of that, we had the rise of group training. So the rise of group training started with jazzercise, aerobics, coming from sort of choreographed style dance class. And then Les Mills hit the scene with body pump, reinvented group training. And then on the other side of that, we've now got phenomenon such as boot camp, CrossFit, etc. So that's a little history on training. Now, what I want you to understand as a human being who is a beginner, who is coming back to training or has potentially been sedentary for a period of time, you are giving yourself the absolute best opportunity to succeed by engaging in a community, a fitness community, a group. Now, I'm not talking about you coming on, subscribing to my channel. Subscribe to the channel, subscribing to my channel and commenting and talking to me and engaging with people here. I'm talking about real human beings who know your name, who you get to know, who they get to know you, who you get to become part of a community. The reason being, when you're part of a community and training is happening and you don't really want to be there, you'll feel a sense of obligation to turn up for this community. Or this community is going to organize different activities which are fun and engaging. So this is what I do for my business, and I'm not trying to sell you something right now, because you are, unless you're in Glen Eden in Auckland, you can't come and join my boot camp. But it's just, this has been ultra successful for me in growing a business, because there's so many people out there who need the help, who need the community focus, to be able to achieve their goals, because people fall off, people fall behind, people get caught up in their lives, stuff happens, okay, we get busy, kids go on holiday. It only takes one small thing to throw people off their routine, and they could literally, you won't see them for a year. And I've seen that within boot camp and within the fitness industry. It'll come to school holidays, I need to look after my kids on the school holidays, they look after their kids, that's 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever that period is. Next minute you don't see them for a year because they got out of the routine of exercising. So we've come up with really awesome tools. What I'm saying to you is, go and find a community to join. If there's no communities like that, create your own. Build one. Build a community of people. Start a walking group. Start a hiking group. Start a jogging group. Wherever your fitness level is yet. Start a let's meet in the park and do some sit-ups and exercise group. So there has to be this community, because I want you to succeed. I understand that at periods of time, everybody has lulls, everybody struggles, there's ups and downs. So we need to make sure that it's a support network. It's like having family. It's the difference between, the guy, to use an analogy, a person who goes off the rails in their life, has misguided, misdirected, doesn't have a support network, and who ends up homeless, versus the person who is misguided, doesn't have a support network, but their family comes in and supports them, and they end up staying in the spare room and on the couch until they've got themselves sorted. That's the difference. We want you having this strong link within a community so that you will stay on track. And it doesn't really matter what it is. It could be martial arts, boot camp, CrossFit, run group, women's group, jazzercise, aerobics, yoga, Pilates, whatever. Just some sort of little community of people that you can hang out with and become accountable to, friends with, etc. Now let me add my 2 cents worth of this, and I'm going to get a little bit philosophical, a little bit political here, because when I started in the fitness industry 10 years ago, I went into a gym environment, and the gym environment, what I noticed was most of the people don't turn up. If you go look through the member records, we had over 80% of our members, and this is a gym with 2,000 people, over 80% of the members never turned up. 80% never turned up. 20% turned up, but out of that 20%, 80% of them did not turn up regularly. So 20% out of the 20%, 1 in 5 out of the 20% actually turned up and trained regularly. Now, why is that? Because human beings aren't designed to train individually in a room with their headphones on, with inanimate objects, walking around, fucking not engaging or being socially interactive. That's really weird. Think about that. Think about people going into a room, walking past each other, strangers, walking past each other, not talking to each other, and lifting inanimate objects to make myself strong. Okay, that's weights and gym. And I saw this and I thought, this is a really bizarre concept. This is really bizarre. Obviously, it's a place of exercise. Most people aren't getting results. The ones who are doing PT generally, or they're highly self-motivated. And PT, most people can't afford it. This is the beauty of group training for you. This is the beauty of you going and joining a community, a boot camp, whatever you can afford. Because you're not just walking through buildings, sit on machine, push machine, headphones, no one talk to me, and it's just weird. Okay, it's weird. You lose motivation, and when you do, you're not going to hang around. Okay, so the video today, it's not that long. Okay, it's just over 10 minutes, but this is I just want to get this overall philosophy of finding yourself a fitness community, to go and engage in. Okay? Now, the last one for today. Remember, this is day 7. You're having a meal today, and then you are going to be fasting, doing another 48-hour fast. Prepare for that when you have your meal. Make sure you have, your meat, your healthy salads. Make sure you have plenty of sodium. Okay, so get some good salts in there. You want some salts, pepper. Get a good amount of sodium into your system so that we can get you through the next couple of days. Right, when we get into our fast, we are allowing ourselves a few little treats this time around. The treats will be, you can have your water, your green tea, and your kombucha. Okay, you can have those 3 things. Kombucha actually has a few little calories in it, so it's probably not a true fast, but it's 48 hours of fasting. We're gonna make another dent into this weight loss. We're gonna push in. We're gonna strip another, 4 to 6 pounds off your body in a couple of days. Just strip it, shred it off your body. Day 7, week 1. We're coming to the end of it. Well done. Go to bed knowing that you're gonna be through. When you wake up in the morning, you're through day 7. Congratulations. High five. That is us. Boom. Woo.